Also breaking tonight, Senator Lindsey Graham has released more declassified materials relating to the FISA abuse investigation. Now, joining us now to break down all of this, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. There's a lot to decipher here. Can I ask a question on this first memo? I would like to know why this, I assume this came from the FBI. I assume Director Wray saw this letter to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. This is July of 2018, Lindsey. They're justifying the use of the dossier when it was a year and a half earlier that they debunked the dossier.
Well, you nailed the first part. There's two things really important tonight. The legal foundation for Mueller's appointment is crumbling. The memo to Mueller from Rosenstein was given to me today or yesterday by Barr, fully unredacted, virtually unredacted. So now we know that the scope of the investigation was to look at Carter Page, Flynn, Papadopoulos, and Manafort as to whether or not they were working with the Russians. Now, this is in August of 2017. You nailed it. In January of 2017, the subsource disavowed the dossier, and without the dossier, there's no warrant. So they knew that the Carter Page thing was a fraud. January the 4th, 2017, the FBI field office wanted to close the case against Flynn. We've got Papadopoulos on record denying working with the Russians, saying to do so would be treason. So the foundation for the Mueller investigation is crumbling. Now, in
all right, well, slow down, Lindsey. I want to stay on the timeline here.
This is important.
This is important. You're right. That's why I'm going through it. This scope memo, this is August of 2017. Rod Rosenstein sent it. Now we're up to the fourth FISA application, the third renewal. Now, let's stay on the dates for 1 second. The only source for this had to be Steele. By August of 2017, for the scope memo and the final renewal, or the third renewal, the fourth warrant, by that time, they knew back in February of 2017 that it was Russian disinformation, and there was only one source, and the source was Steele. They knew it was BS months earlier. So now the question, Senator, is what the hell went on here?
Well, the legal foundation to justify Mueller's appointment, in my view, does not exist. That's what this memo is so important. They named 4 people. Rosenstein tells Mueller to look at 4 people. August the 2nd, 2017. Carter Page is one of the 4. You've just said it better than anybody. January, 8 months before the subsource disavowed the dossier, there was no legal justification to suspect Carter Page of being a Russian agent because it all depended on the dossier, and that crumbled in January. Flynn's case was looked at by the field office in Washington January the 4th of 2017 that said there's no reason to believe he is doing anything wrong. He shouldn't be part of Crossfire Hurricane. Papadopoulos is on tape in 2016 denying working with the Russians, to say to do so would be treason. So there was no legitimate reason to believe any of these 4 were working with the Russians on August the 2nd, 2017. Therefore, the entire Mueller investigation was illegitimate to begin with. That's very important.
It's not only illegitimate, Senator. We're talking about a shredding of every bit of constitutional law, due process that we would ever have. And they're doing it from the very beginning, never verifiable, to stop somebody from winning an election. And when they win the election, they are trying everything they can to use false information to basically take this guy down. And they knew what they were doing. They had all the evidence that they were doing it, and they did it anyway.
So let's just slow down for a second. I wish a Democrat would take this seriously. I made sure Mueller
Don't hold your breath. You'll drop dead.
You're right. But I supported the Mueller investigation because I didn't know. Now I know. Now I know why Mueller didn't find anything. There was nothing there to find.
Lindsey,
there was nothing there to find.
This proves they knew. They
I agree with
knew.
That. Before it even started, they knew. Okay,
Correct.
number two, the FBI and the Department of Justice is writing to the FISA court in 2018. Now, this is 2018. In 2018, January of 2018, Devin Nunes writes a memo critical of the FISA application. Grassley Graham memo is very critical of the Carter Page warrant application. Here's what the court is told by the FBI and the Department of Justice in July 2018. They say in the letter to the court, no, the application is good, is solid, is sound, a few technical irregularities, and they repeat the lie that the subsource was truthful and cooperative. In other words, they're telling the court that the subsource validated the dossier rather than shredded it. They're actually repeating that lie again in 2018. Only until Horowitz came along did we know. Why couldn't they found what Horowitz found? In the file, you have a memo right there for anybody to see indicating that the subsource, the Russian subsource, said the dossier was a bunch of garbage. It was hearsay, bar talk.
Senator, all of these people broke the law, didn't they?
I'm telling you, man, this is J. Edgar Hoover stuff. We're going to have hearings, and Barr has been terrific.
But
I've got a lot
I agree with you on Barr. I don't think any of this comes out but for Bill Barr.
Well,
and it's all been. Where's Director Wray, though? I've got a lot of people yelling at me tonight. He's not doing his job.
Well, in July 2018, how could you possibly tell the court that the subsource was truthful and cooperative when the memo in the file says he undercut the dossier? They're repeating the lie to the court that Horowitz found. That tells me the FBI has not taken seriously the abuses associated with Crossfire Hurricane as late as July 2018. That's what it tells me beyond any doubt.
Senator, this was an attempted coup. This was shredding the Constitution. We're getting to the bottom of it.